A lot of people actually ask, we've done a lot for small business, for women-owned business, and a lot of people ask me, why do I do that? And first off, I'm the youngest of three, and I was a mama's boy. So it starts off with that. Yeah, there's my mother right there. She's confirming that. And there's literally only one person in this world I'm afraid of. And I can hear her laughing because she knows what is coming. It's my sister, Liz. Where is Liz? Yeah. Wait, Liz. Yeah. Her kids are shaking their heads, right? And my big brother is too. And so are my nieces, right? So beautiful. First off, thank you. Right? It's always great to be back home. It's always great to be with friends. Many of y'all forgot that I ran for Congress back in 2010, and I lost that election by 700 votes. I'm glad we don't tell that story anymore. But there's many veterans from that campaign that have been helpful with us in 14 and in 16 as well, and now. So it's pretty awesome to have you all back. And it's great to see so many new faces as well that have just joined this team here in this 2018 election. And look, I have the benefit of having my name on the sign and my face on the pamphlets, but this is a much larger organization. This is much bigger than me. And there's a couple of folks I have to highlight at the beginning. Justin, get over here. Cindy, Doug, Connor, Clinton, y'all get over here. Get up in front. You know, these are. Come on, get up here. Get up here. Hurry up. Yeah. This is our senior leadership team, and they're doing an amazing job with organizing this operation. Ultimately, we're a $6 million, 29-county operation, and we probably have a couple of thousand employees in essence. And these are the folks that keep the wheels running, and the ones that are interacting with y'all. So I just want to thank them. And to be frank, they're an upgrade from Justin. So is Justin back there? Yeah. Where is he? Yeah, he left. Right? And this is Connor right here, our comms director. And where's our block walk crew? Where are they? Look. So today we calling this our official kickoff, but guess what? We've been going at it since May. Right? Actually, we've been going at it for 3.5 years. The way I approach this job is my week before the election looks no different from my week last week, which looks no different from a week a year ago. Right? And so we operate at one level. And now we want to make sure that we get y'all more involved. We got to knock on doors. We got to make phone calls. We're going to have to hand out pamphlets. We're going to have to raise money because this is the 23rd District of Texas. Y'all see it on the wall. It's big, 29 counties, 2 time zones, 820 miles of border. It takes 10.5 hours to drive from Cotula to San Elizario at 80 miles an hour. Which is actually the speed limit in most of the district. Justin found out 2 weekends ago it's not the speed limit in all the districts. Sorry to put your business out in the street, Justin. And so it's always competitive. It's the only congressional seat in Texas that's truly a 50-50 district, right? And I think in 3.5 years, we've proved how you represent a 50-50 district. This is serious times, and we need serious people. You know, China is a true existential threat to the United States of America. In 2049, China is trying to become the lone world superpower. Now, this is not me saying this because I collected intelligence when I was an undercover officer in the CIA about this. This is the Chinese government saying this about themselves. And 2049 is important because that's the 100-year anniversary of the creation of their party. Now, why should we care here in San Antonio, Texas, or Eagle Pass? Where's my Eagle Pass crew? Freddie and his team. Yeah, appreciate y'all coming up. I got my Medina County crew as well. I appreciate y'all being here. Why should we care? It's going to impact our economy. It's going to impact the jobs we have, right? It's going to impact our ability to continue to grow this economy. And we need serious people up in Washington, D.C. that understand this threat and are dealing with this. You have a country now who has an emperor. Their leaders are going to be in power for the next 40 years. They have a 25-year plan. Oh, and they don't care about things like civil liberties. They don't care about things like breaking into our systems and stealing our information and intellectual property. It's a real threat. Y'all have heard me talk about the Russians. The Russians are trying to do more than try to get involved in our elections. They're trying to erode trust in our democratic institutions. They're trying to erode trust in our businesses. They're increasing hacks on energy companies in West and South Texas. Why? Because the United States of America is going to become energy independent. We're going to be the ones to be able to sell energy to Europe and other parts of the world. And that's going to impact their economy. So we have to be prepared for that. We have a growing debt that is going to be an anvil around the necks of our kids and our grandkids. We need serious people up in Washington in order to do that. And the only way you're going to attack these serious problems is if you focus on results and not rhetoric. And I think that's what we've been able to do. My first tour in Congress, this sounds like I'm overseas actually. Somebody asked me earlier, what's the most dangerous place I served in? I was like, it's actually Washington, D.C. I've had more surveillance in Washington, D.C. than I did when I was in Afghanistan or Pakistan. In my first tour in Congress, I got more bills signed into law than any other member of Congress. Congress, as a body, does not have the greatest job approval rate. The Exxon oil spill is higher, and there are some diseases that actually have a higher job approval rating than Congress. Right? That's a problem, and one of the reasons is what we talk about up in Washington, D.C. are not the things we talk about down in their districts. That's why I spend every moment I can back home. I fly in and out of San Antonio 2 weekends a month, Midland 1 weekend, El Paso the 4th, to try to deal with those sections of the district in order to make sure we're working on issues up in Washington, D.C. that y'all actually care about. And the only way you get 14, 15, what number are we on, Justin? I think we're about to be 15. We're going to get a bill signed into law next week, probably. The only way you do that is by actually working together. Crisscrossing these 29 counties, I've learned a couple of things. Way more unites us than divides us. If we focus on those things that we actually all care about, this experiment called America will continue to work. And people want us to disagree without being disagreeable. Now, there's only one person in this race that has stood up to both parties, that has worked with both parties. And when it comes time for the fine residents of the 23rd District of Texas to go in and grade my paper, they're going to know that. They're going to know I've been one of the most effective members of Congress up in Washington, D.C. They're going to know that I'm someone who actually is willing to work. And y'all can know this. I told you this when I first ran. Yep. I'm going to agree when I agree, and I'm going to disagree when I disagree. And there's two things that my father taught me. Where's Dad? B.O.B. Big Bob. Bob Hurd right there. My dad taught me there's one person you can't fool when you're brushing your teeth in the mirror. In the morning, you're looking in the mirror. And you can't fool yourself. I'm going to always be honest. Whether folks like it or not, whether it leads to my doom or not, I'm going to always be honest. And I'm always going to have a PMA. Positive mental attitude. Right? It's hard sometimes. I'm gonna tell y'all a secret. I know some of y'all are live tweeting this or we're doing a Facebook Live. By the way, Facebook Live, make sure y'all like and share this. Thanks for joining us for those that are there. So just mute it for a second. Washington, D.C. is a circus. Right? Some of y'all may have heard that before. But we can get things done, right? And we've proven the model on how to do that. And the only way we're going to continue to be able to do that is with y'all's help. This is a knife fight, period, end of story. I always tell folks I'm in the right job because I like to fight with knives. My sister knows that. I'm just joking. This is going to be the most expensive race, congressional race in the history of Texas. We're going to beat the previous record, which was actually set last year by this race. This is probably going to be $25 million spent in this race for a congressional seat, right? So when y'all buy those red t-shirts for $23, it goes a long way, right, to helping us. We're going to knock on probably $250,000 doors.
Wow.
Right? We're going to make a whole lot of phone calls. We're going to hand out a whole lot of pamphlets. And the only way we're going to do that is with y'all's help. We've already been grinding. It's hot outside. The teams that are knocking on doors are doing it. You know, they're making sure, and they're getting great responses at the door. But we're going to continue to need help, and we're going to have to put the pedal to the metal. And we have, 94 days, Clinton?
93.
93 days between now and election time. And so we need to make sure we have your emails. We need to make sure we have your phone numbers. We need to make sure that y'all have downloaded our app to help do the block walking. And we need y'all's time. If you can't walk, we need y'all's help to make phone calls. Because this is a group effort. And I will end with this. Justin's giving me the signs to say wrap it up, and I'm talking too long. A lot of people always ask me, why did I run for Congress? Y'all have heard me tell the story a million times. I was frustrated with our caliber of our elected leaders when I was in the CIA, and I thought I can do a better job. And my mama said, you're either part of the problem or part of the solution. So I moved from Afghanistan to Helotes and ran for Congress. My joke for those in San Antonio, I always say, growing up in Leon Valley, there's two places I never thought I'd live, Afghanistan and Helotes. I need to talk to TxDOT about that super street in Helotes right now. You know, that's I don't want to get anybody's blood pressure up, but it was clear why I ran, and I'm glad I did, and I'm glad many of y'all helped us. But the better question is, why do I stay? Right? I joke and say we get professionally cyberbullied every day. I'm not complaining. It's part of the job. I stay. Not because I love national security. It's my background, it's my passion, it's my expertise, and being able to be involved in those issues is awesome. But I stay because we're able to help people. We had a woman call our office in December. When she was in college, she got pregnant, and she did not go to her last semester of school. When she went to see a doctor, the doctor said, your child is going to have severe mental and physical handicaps. And the child is probably only going to live for no longer than a year. Mom had the kid. The daughter lives 19 years. She had severe mental and physical disabilities. Mom was the full-time care provider. Dad was in the Army. Dad's in Iraq, steps on an IED, blows off part of his limbs. It's a 100% disability. Mom, dad, daughter, all they're living on is the disability from the VA. Their daughter dies at age 19. 3 months after the daughter died, she got a letter in the mail, the mom did, that said you can only defer your college loans for 20 years until you have to pay. Her first bill was about $11,733. She calls us and says, I don't know if you're going to be able to help, but you helped my neighbor on something completely unrelated. We do not know what to do. This is scarier to us than seeing our daughter pass away. So we huddled. So what can we do? So we started making some phone calls. We found out because she was the wife of a veteran, she wasn't taking advantage of some of the programs that she could. Because when she was going to the hospital, she was providing support to some, giving her time to other folks in there. So she was able to rely on some other things. And we started making all these calls. We got her down to $350 a month for 3 years. And then she's going to be free and clear. Y'all don't see that in the newspaper above the fold. You don't see that when it comes to watching on television. Most people think of Congress as you're debating some piece of legislation or not debating a piece of legislation. But a lot of what we do is helping people battle the federal bureaucracy, right? people that need that help. And that's what this campaign is about. That's why we need y'all's help. So when you're outside and it's hot and you don't want to make a phone call, or Clinton keeps emailing you and saying, hey, we need you to help volunteer, and you don't want to do it, this is not about me. This is about helping people that need help. This is about making sure that this country stays the greatest country on the planet. So it's an honor to have y'all support. It's awesome to have y'all here today. Thanks for kicking this off. And we got to do one thing before I officially end. Everybody say wave. Now I'm going to do it on video. All right, so everybody, when I count to 3, everybody wave. There we go. We can do this. We are going to do this. And everybody's invited to the victory party when we win this sucker. So thanks for coming. God bless you.